Hello, in this video we're going to watch Sarita from Nepal who got a band 6 in this IELTS speaking mock test, and I will give some advice on how she, and maybe you, can move up to a band 7. Let's do it. Right, so this is the speaking test. It's the IELTS speaking test taking place today. My name is Keith. Can you tell me your full name, please?
My name is Sarita Ale, and you can call me Sarita.
Sarita, that's great. So in the first part of this test, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about your hometown first. So where is your hometown?
Well, basically, I'm from a village from Nepal, but now I have been living in Kathmandu, which is the capital city of my country, Nepal.
And do
And
you
I've been
like your
living here
hometown?
for 15 years.
Do you like your hometown?
Yes, I do. Actually, it's a fresh air. We can feel fresh air and greenery. Actually, I'm going to back my hometown next week because my parents and my all family members are in my hometown, and I still love be there. But now I am here to my study and career.
And what can tourists do in your hometown?
Sorry.
What can the tourists or the visitors do in your hometown?
Okay. Actually, Nepal is a tourist country. So here, tourists can enjoy lots of history things and the natural beauty of country and some Himalayas like Mountain Everest and the birthplace of Gautam Buddha. Here are various things that can tourists enjoy.
Okay, let's move on and talk about sports now. How often do you play sports?
Well, it's an interesting question for me because I'm not a sport guy, and but sometimes to be fit, I do play some sports like volleyball and other like escaping sports, but professionally and regularly I don't play sports.
Do you watch sport matches on TV?
Sometimes I do watch sports on TV because my husband and my brothers are watching the sports on TV at the moment. I also want to enjoy the time with them. Otherwise, I don't watch to sport on TV. Rather, I love to watch movies and other things on the
Right.
TV.
So are you a fan of any sports teams?
Uh, I wish I could play volleyball, but I cannot play because I don't know why I didn't learn play volleyball. But I want to watch some matches on the TV.
Okay, let's talk about shopping now. Do you like shopping?
Yes, I do shopping. Actually, I want to buy some clothes and jewelry to myself on the shopping mall in the market. So I enjoy shopping somehow.
Do you compare prices when you shop?
Yes, I do. I'm quite a price conscious person while I'm doing shopping. So, in the Nepal, bargaining is a very popular things while shopping. So, I do bargain with the prices and quality.
Is it difficult for you to make decisions when you shop?
Sometimes it can be difficult, but normally I consider my budget and the quality. So it's not a very big deal, but sometimes it can be because whether my interest in something and I don't have sufficient budget, then that can be a quite a difficult problem, quite a difficult to decision making on the shopping.
Right. Okay. Right, let's find out how Sarita is doing at the end of part 1. What do you think? How is she doing? Interesting. Well, let's break it down to the 4 skills. Fluency first. So I think her fluency is one of her strengths, right? She's willing to keep going. There are moments where there is a loss of coherence, sometimes, but not too much. She is using a range of connectors like actually, otherwise, rather. So I think it's quite good. I'd be giving her probably a 6 on fluency. She may be a little bit higher. I'm not too sure at the moment. I'll be listening out in part 2 and 3 for that. Next is vocabulary. Well, again, I thought this was quite good. She can discuss the topics in some detail. She could talk about her hometown, talked about sport, about shopping. She has an awareness of collocation, natural beauty, price conscious, bargaining is popular. I consider my budget. Right, some really good awareness of collocation for vocabulary, and I was quite impressed overall. I think she's probably a 6. Again, maybe she's a little bit higher, although I didn't notice any idiomatic expressions really, but let's see in the next part. Okay, grammar. Now then, grammar for me is around the 6, but not as strong as the other skills. She is using a mix of some simple structures and 1 or 2 complex structures. So there is the present perfect. You know, I have been living here for 16 years. She's expressing wishes. I wish I could play volleyball. She's using the present tense to talk about her habits in the present quite a lot. But there are some mistakes which are noticeable. Things like we don't learn play. We don't learn to play. And I buy clothes to myself instead of I buy clothes for myself. So there are some notable mistakes around use of prepositions, tense a little bit as well. So I'll be listening carefully for grammar to make sure, is she at the 6 level or not? Finally, pronunciation. I think this is her weakness, actually. She can be understood usually, but there are mispronunciations quite frequently, and they do distract, and sometimes the communication breaks down because of that. Okay. So she has she does have a wide range of pronunciation features, but here's the thing. The control is mixed. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. For example, different sounds and phonemes, the S and the SH, the sh and the s are confused. She talks about sopping instead of shopping. She talks about I study instead of study. And there's a confusion with the P, the P and the F. To be pit instead of to be fit. In her hometown, she talks about press air instead of fresh air. So because those phonemes are giving different words with different meanings, it led to quite a bit of confusion. Also, word stress is not always correct. She talks about history instead of history, and enjoy instead of enjoy. So a pronunciation might be around a band 5 at the moment. But again, let's see as she goes into the long turn on part 2, if she can maintain some good pronunciation control over longer sentences as well. So at the moment, probably around a band 6 level. Let's see how she goes in the next part. But just before we watch Sarita, I've got a very special surprise for you. It's a very special Christmas gift from the sponsors of this video. Cambly are sponsoring this video. A very, very big thank you to you guys. Thank you so much. But they've got a very special Christmas present for you, and I'm going to tell you in a few seconds. If you don't know Cambly, it's an online platform with native English speaking teachers. You can choose any teacher, anytime, as often as you like, and go and have an English class, practice your speaking. It's great. It's a really high quality platform. You have the video classes, you have chat as well. You can record the classes. Cambly even have online courses, including IELTS. So you can be practicing your English for IELTS as well. You know, if you take the language from my course or from my live lessons and you want to practice it with somebody else, you can get a teacher on Cambly and not only practice all that language, but get feedback as well from the teacher. Brilliant. Absolutely great. Go and check it out at cambly.com. But what's the Christmas present? Well, the Christmas present is this: a subscription for free. 3 months, twice a week, 30 minutes, free classes with a teacher on Cambly. What? 3 months, twice a week, 30-minute classes for free? That is out of this world. Thank you so much, Cambly. I mean, that is great. How do you get that? All you have to do is make a comment down below about this video. Leave me a comment in 48 hours. We will choose one of the comments at random and they will get 3 months, twice a week, 30-minute class with the teacher of their choice. Wow, it must be Christmas. Brilliant. So that's it. Great. Let's go now, get back into the also maybe more important subject, see how Sarita does in part 2 and part 3. Let's go. So, great. So now I'm going to move on and give you a topic, and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. You've got 1 minute to prepare, and if you've got paper and pen, you can make some notes, okay? So I'm going to paste and copy this into your chat box. Right. Can you see that?
Yes, okay. I can see. Describe a time when you first talk in a foreign language.
Yeah. So I'd like you to describe a time when you first talked in a foreign language and you have 1 minute to prepare.
Okay.
Right. Okay. That's your minute. So remember, you've got 1 to 2 minutes. Don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Okay. Can you start speaking now, please?
Okay. I'm going to talk about a foreign lady. She was my husband's employer. When I was in Hub, Nepal, which was my husband's workplace, and I was there to spend my holiday with my son, and I met her. Her name is Simon, and Simon in the Hub, Nepal, and she asked a lot of things about me and my culture and food and my sons. And she has a British accent, and she speaks very fast, and I cannot catch her. And later somehow I can understand her, and we had a very interesting conversation. Like she asked about my culture because she is interesting to know about our culture and our marriage affairs about my husband and me. And she asked a lot of questions about my son, and she was quite interesting to know about my future and my son's future. And we had lots of conversation about my hometown and our career. And later we had a dinner at the same table, and we played lots of game like playing card, and I teach her how to play card in Nepal and what types of game are popular in our country. I had a different type of conversation, and she also teach me some games about her childhood. And we share lots of memories and lots of we share lots of ideas about career. And she has a very good woman, and she teach me how to handle the career and career with a son, because she had a 5-year-old son. And
okay, I'm going to stop you there. Thank you very much. Okay. So we've been talking here about the first time you talked in a foreign language. I want to ask you some questions related to that. Is it important to learn a foreign language?
I think it's important because if we know the foreign language, then it can be it can be easy and it can be convenience to communicate with them, with other people, other different countries people, and we can understand their culture as well, and we can share our thoughts. So I think knowing foreign language can be beneficial for communication and other things as well.
Mm-hmm. At what age do you think children should learn a foreign language?
I have a two mind in that questions because many people think that if people learn foreign language in childhood, in primary level, then they can pick up the language very soon. But I believe that children shouldn't be unforced. If they want to learn second language, then they can learn, but we shouldn't force them. So I think they can learn in the primary, secondary school as well. So.
Hmm. And which skill do you think is more important, reading or writing?
Yeah, it's tricky questions. I think both are very important because without writing, we cannot express our uh, we cannot express our thoughts and feelings. So writing is very important things. On the other hand, if uh, reading is very important, if we cannot read anything, then we cannot collect the information. In reading is a writing is a yeah writing is a reflection of reading. So I think both skill are equal important to learn.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a bit about languages around the world. What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of having one global language?
If we have our own global language, then I think the diversity of language and culture can be destroyed. And if we have our own language, then we can make beautiful harmony between different countries, persons, and we don't need difficulties to understand others' feelings and to communicate each other. So, yeah, in by and large, destroys of culture can be a disadvantage, and harmony can be an advantage.
Tell me more about the disadvantages. Why is it a negative thing?
Uh, Well, I think if people have one language, then, for example, Nepal is a tourist country, and many people came here to understand our language and to understand our culture. And many Nepalese people can earn money from the tourist, and they can sell to tourists their languages. And we in Nepal we have a different type of language, not only Nepali. We have we have a different type of language according to our caste. So I think they can sell their language to foreigner and tourist if they don't have a one language. But if they have only one language, then they cannot sell that type of things. And the next one things, it's I think it's our identity as well. So people don't want to lose their identity. So that can be a disadvantages. But
And
I think rather
do
than disadvantage, we can find many advantages having a
right,
one.
right. And do you think that in the future minority languages will disappear?
I don't think so because in Nepal, I belongs to Magar caste, and Magar caste have a different type of language. But I usually speak only Nepali language. But I'm quite interested to learn my Nepali Magar language somehow. So many people are focused to learn their mother tongue and their language as well. So I don't think different type of language will be disappeared in future because many people are interested to gain lots of many language to learn many language. So I think it won't be disappear.
Right. I'm going to stop there. Thank you very much. That's the end of the speaking test. Great. So I love it at the end of the test when students go, And you can see the kind of, oh, thank goodness it's over expression, the relief, right? So how did Sarita do now after part 2 and part 3? Well, fluency, great. I thought she was still willing to keep going, band 6 level. She's using still new connectors, right? On the other hand, by and large, I mean, yes, there were some inappropriacies. For example, the next one things is instead of the next thing is or another thing is. But what I really like about her fluency is she just gets into the flow, especially in part 3. She's just there, she's with the flow and she's going with it, which is a great way. It's very natural. There are some problems, again, now and again, there is a loss of coherence. And I suspect that if she slowed down, right, it would help her. Because I think Sarita is one of these students who speaks quite fast, but too fast, which may sound strange, right? You may think, hang on, Keith, fluency, I need to speak fast. No, you don't. Fluency is not speed. Speed sometimes is a bad thing. A, because you're going so fast, your brain can't keep up and you make mistakes. But also with pronunciation, it sometimes shows that you're not controlling it. You're blah, 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 and it's not a full control. Sometimes, if this is your case, slow down. And I really think that can help her focus on the coherence in order to move up to that band 7 level. Band 7, you must be speaking without noticeable effort and no loss of coherence, right? So vocabulary, great. I think she is up there at a 6 or even, a strong 6. She can discuss all of these topics at length and she maintains that awareness of style and connotation. She talked about tricky questions, express our thoughts, diversity of culture, really nice. The only thing is with vocabulary is there were mistakes and they were simple mistakes. And I wonder again if this is to do with speed. She's going so fast, she's not picking up the little mistakes. Had a dinner instead of have dinner, or had dinner. How to play card instead of how to play cards. She teach me instead of taught me. She was forgetting the past tense. I have a two mind in that instead of I am in two minds about that. So she's trying to use these idiomatic expressions, but the mistakes are there. So I think if she slows down and really focuses on accuracy, that's going to help her move up to the band 7 because she has the range. It's the mistakes which are holding her back. So I would say slow down a bit, focus on the accuracy, introduce one or two more idiomatic and less common vocabulary, and then you'll be up at that band 7 level. Next, grammar. Well, okay, grammar didn't convince me completely. There were, again, a mix of simple and complex structures, good, but with limited flexibility. So she does use the past tenses, present, passives as well, which was great to see. But again, the mistakes are noticeable and they are what you may call, not silly mistakes, but slips. Mistakes that you shouldn't make if you're focusing, right? For example, children should don't be instead of children should not be. She says, I belongs to. She puts an extra S instead of I belong to. So I think, again, with grammar, if she could work on accuracy and almost getting automation of the basics, right? So that those simple mistakes are not made, it's really, really going to help her move up with her grammar. So focus on accuracy. Finally, pronunciation. Okay, I'm still there at the same band 5 level probably. So she's got a wide range of these pronunciation features, but the control is not always there. Does lead to some confusions. And one of the things I noticed this time round as well is the sentence stress. So that's the stress of each word in your sentence. And her pattern, probably because of her mother tongue, is a bit... We sometimes call it the machine gun effects. It's a instead of a d, which is the English pattern. So that also affects her control of pronunciation. But overall, strengths are on fluency. I would say weaknesses are accuracy and pronunciation. 6 overall, I would say. So tips and advice for Sarita, and in fact, anybody who's around a 6 or 6.5 level and wanting to move up to a 7, right? Let me begin very generally first. First thing I would say is practice, is regular practice, right? Now, Sarita told me she's only been learning English for a few years. She only started preparing for IELTS in March, around the time of the lockdown, and she practiced regularly. She found herself a speaking partner, was speaking day after day. She watched videos on YouTube again and again and again. And it really is that consistent practice that is going to help you move up. Because it's about improving your English level. That will help you move up. The exam technique is a small part of it. The second thing to think about, I think, is confidence, is to find your confidence and keep your confidence. Sarita told me, that she had had a teacher who was continually correcting her and telling her, wouldn't let her speak, and she lost her confidence. And she needed time to find it again and build it up. And really, for me, right, confidence is the daily increase of little successes. So anything that you do that is a little success, maybe you watch a film and go, "Ooh, I understood most of that." Or you speak to a foreigner and you can actually communicate. Right? Or you practice an answer and you successfully use a couple of idioms and you go, yes, little success. And you have those little successes day by day or day after day, and your confidence grows, right? So it doesn't appear overnight. It takes time to grow, like the tree, like my plant over there. Poor thing, it's not growing so well. Maybe I need to build its confidence, but like plants grow, right? It takes time and the day by day increase. So practice confidence. Particularly for Sarita, I would say my advice is speak more slowly, because I think her speed is affecting her accuracy, causing her to make mistakes, but also is causing her to lose control of pronunciation and lose coherence at times with her fluency. I mean, her fluency is remarkable. I think it's really good, and she has made so much progress. But if she slowed down a little bit, I think that would help. It would help her control pausing, phrasing, chunking, everything, actually. Sentence stress, pronunciation. The other thing which, through this test, I think Sarita has realized, is to focus on your weaknesses. Find out your weaknesses. If it's pronunciation, then focus on that, right? If it's mistakes in grammar, focus on that and be prepared to take time on a regular basis, on a daily basis, to work on that, to really go deep and to get it better and better. Otherwise, that weakness will just stay with you the rest of your life. You've got to take some time to work at it and get it better. So find the weakness, improve it. I mean, I've mentioned with Sarita in particular, to work on pronunciation, different phonemes, sentence stress, and work on accuracy, especially the the S in the plurals and in the third person. Be careful with that. Some of the great things that I loved and that Sarita should carry on doing is to continue to develop her answers. In part 3, she was in the flow, developing the answers, giving ideas, opinions, examples. Really nice. She did ask me, are my answers the right length? And they were. Part 1, Part 2 and Part 3, they were really well developed answers. So to carry on doing that and to maintain that confidence. The only exam technique thing, advice, is to be careful on Part 2. I don't know if you noticed when she started Part 2, if you look at my face, I was a bit surprised and shocked because she started talking about a foreign lady that she knew. And the question was, the first time you spoke a foreign language. And I thought she'd misunderstood. And I thought she was going off topic. She later told me that no, she understood perfectly, but it was through that lady that she had the conversation. So my advice is just be careful. In Part 2, get to the point quickly, right? If it's about a conversation, say, this is the conversation I had with this person. This is what I'm talking about. Don't go around the houses or beat around the bush. Get straight to the point so the examiner knows, okay, you understand, you're on topic, let's hear what you've got to say, right? You don't want the examiner going, oh no, she's off topic, oh no, she's misunderstood, oh, her level is actually quite low, lower than I thought. You don't want that, certainly not. So Part 2, bam, straight to the point. That's it. Finally, a big thank you to Sarita. It was an absolute pleasure to do the test. I hoped it could help her a little bit. I really do admire her fluency and her confidence on how far she has come in such a short time. Absolute brilliant. So best of luck, Sarita. And also you guys, thank you very much for watching the video. As always, it's a pleasure to be here with you. I hope, by sharing this, you can not only look at the mistakes, but you can look at how to improve for yourself in order to get the score that you need. And finally, just a big thank you again to Cambly for sponsoring this video. Cambly is a really high quality online platform where you can find native speaking English teachers to help practice for your IELTS. And to remind you, the big Christmas gift from Cambly to you is that subscription. 3 months, twice a week, 30 minutes. To get into the lottery to win, all you have to do is leave a comment below within the next 48 hours from releasing the video. Come on, Keith, mathematics. And that's it. And you might have a chance to win 3 months, twice a week, 30 minutes with a teacher of your choice. Christmas doesn't get any better. Even if you've got Christmas bells and you're singing jingle bells, I'm not going to sing. Thank goodness. Thank you, Cambly. Thank you, all of you, for watching. Please remember to like the video, turn on the subscription and the notification button to find out about more videos coming up from me. And that's it. I can't wait to see you soon. Take care. If you're celebrating, a big Merry Christmas to you. All the best now. Bye-bye.